as Christians, we find the love of God really inspiring, and it's God who is the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. And we find out about him in the scriptures, and we see there particularly Jesus' love for us, in that what he did, he came and died for us and showed us that wonderful love, and we find that particularly inspiring. Of course you can practice your Christian faith as a member of the Australian Defence Force, and I think it comes out a lot in the values that we see. We can really see how we can live out our faith as a Christian when we look at those values. I mean, the first value of service, I mean, that's exactly what Jesus did. I mean, he came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many, as Mark 10:45 says. So service is one of those values that we see epitomised really in what Jesus did. The second value is courage. And when we think about courage, we think about, in Joshua 1:9, he talks about that to be strong and courageous. And we see all these pictures of people in the scriptures who are courageous. When we think about Esther, who was the queen who was courageous at the time to save her people. When we think of Moses challenging Pharaoh, when we think of the way that Jesus challenged the religious leaders, so we can see that courage is just fundamental to what we do as Christians. Respect is our third value and for the Defence Force, and respect really comes from the fact that we believe that every person is created in the image of God. And so they have inherent respect in just being a person who is loved by God and is created by him. So respect is very big, and we can certainly practice that. Integrity, the fourth value. Of course, the Bible again tells us that in Leviticus 19 and verse 11 that you shall not steal, nor do falsely, nor lie to one another. So this whole idea of integrity, it runs through the scriptures, and we are to be people who live and act just as God would have us to do and have that integrity. And finally, on excellence, we think about that. Again, we're wanting to live for God, to do the best that we possibly can, to be that living up to the excellence, to think about the right things, to do the right things, and to be giving the best that we can of our time. So our values as Christians fit in completely with what the Defence would want us to be. Think about being practical in how we do these things. So people will be encouraging us each time that we read the Bible to see the values, and then to think about, well, how do you do that? What do you do to live that out, to make it practical? And so, you know, some of the things might be that we would be talking about to fill our minds with the things that are wholesome and good. So we'd be reading the scriptures and looking at good stories and listening to things and filling our mind with those things, because we know that having our mind right really helps us to do that. And then another just a practical thing to do is, if we've got one of being our value of being servants, then just to actually go and be a servant, to help around the house, or to help in the unit, to volunteer to do these things, because if you see yourself as a servant, then there's always plenty of things that you can be doing. So that you can be practical in those ways and helping people around you. I think that Defence offers a great opportunity for us to be that servant, to be serving the Lord and serving the nation. And so that's what we would be encouraging our people to consider as they do that. They can live out their faith in a practical way and be bringing help and joy to people around about them. So I think it's a great option for people to consider.